everybody. Welcome to this session of the conference. My name is Andrew-Essien. You can call me Frecky. Frecky Andrew-Essien is the Executive Director and founder of Fair Care Foundation, a non-profit organization that reaches out to vulnerable individuals in communities in the South region of Nigeria. And we target offensive vulnerable children, persons with disability, youth, and the less privileged. And what we do is we bring step-gap support services to these vulnerable groups in different thematic areas. I'm also a public health practitioner, a disability advocate. I'm a motivational and inspirational speaker, spoken at various conferences across the world, and also a music minister, a management consultant, just to mention a few. Today I've been asked to speak on a topic which I think is very crucial to everybody who is out there, even myself. And I'm grateful that I'm still able to do this, despite the fact that I'm not there with you in Ibadan. You know, the world has become so small. We have technology to thank for that. So the global village has become one small place. So there you are, way over there in Ibadan. Here I am in Port Harcourt, and I'm still able to communicate with you. Today I've been given the topic, surviving disability. And for me, what that simply means is rising above, living above disability, whatever form it may come, thriving as an individual. Now, I have made some notes. I'm going to refer to my notes to be able to bring to you in the short time that I have on surviving disability, living above, living beyond, thriving despite disability. Now, at the end of the short time that we have together, I'm hoping that you will be able to see your ability, and that I'll be able to make you understand that before and after disability, there is you. Yes, there is you. And that the fact that things may be changed, whether when you were young or whether you were a young adult like myself, despite the fact that things have changed physically, physiologically, emotionally, intellectually, only presents an opportunity to the world and to others for you to show them different ways that you can still achieve. And these are the things that I want to share with you today. So just for you to understand, because I know that you're just seeing my portrait, at the age of 21, young adult, in a split second, I was involved in a road traffic accident and I fractured my spine. And what that resulted in is paraplegia from my umbilicus down to my feet. So for me to be able to move, I'm mobility impaired, so I have to use a wheelchair. So for a second, I will show you my Hummer Jeep. So this is me. Yes, this is the chair. These are the wheels. Just so I'm doing this on my phone, so bear with me. So I'm sure they'll show you all the full pictures. I'll send all the full pictures. But just know that I move around with a chair, but for the first 21 years of my life, I used my legs and had absolutely no disability and really no contact persons with disability. So on the 26th of December, beautiful day in the evening, road traffic accident changed my life, but didn't end it. So, by way of introducing this topic, I'd like to just refer to a bit about history. Now, over time and with different movements, like the Black movement, the Black rights movement, the women's movement, and even disability rights movement, the fight has generally been on equality. Until today, humans forget that irrespective of the color of your skin or the makeup of your reproductive component, or how you see, how you hear, how you move, that you are first human before any other thing. So irrespective of what it is, that it looks like, you need to understand that you are first you are first human, you are first you. And that's what the world forgets. And then we continue to fight for equality, and it's easy for people to see because they see a physical impairment or they see an impairment, they think that you are less, or even you think you're less. But I want you to understand that all these differences, black, white, brown, mobility impaired, amputee, whatever it is, what it ends up doing is that it makes the world a more beautiful, colorful, and dynamic place to live in. Imagine if we're all the same, it would be so boring. So I just want to set that. Now, by way of definition, disability is not just a mere health predicament that has to be settled. That was the medical model of disability, where the focus was on the impairment, the injury, the amputated foot, the weakness, the autistic spectrum, whatever. So I just want to clarify, the disability is not just a health impairment. That's not just where it stops, but rather it is an assortment of experiences. Now understand this, there are no two people with disability that experience disability the same, irrespective of maybe the same diagnosis or a common diagnosis. You can have paraplegia from T910, somebody can have complete incomplete, it doesn't matter. The two individuals experience it differently. So it is an assortment of experiences that affects a person's body, affects our lives, our ability to function equally in society in which we live in. So understand that disability is an assortment of experiences, not just a health predicament. Now I want you to imagine a tree growing, or a seed that has been planted, a little seedling. It is there, it is growing, it is thriving, it is under the sun, it is watered by the rain, it is growing, and then life happens. All of a sudden, an axe comes and hits that tree right in the middle. Maybe it cuts it off, maybe it makes it bend, maybe it cracks it to one side, but something halts the progress of that tree. Now that is exactly how I felt on that fateful day when I had the accident, or found out that I had a form of disability. It was as if my life stopped. I was frozen, I was stuck, I was confused and completely at a loss as to where I should go from there. I felt less of a woman, I felt less of a human. And sometimes, or most of the time, that is what disability does. It can cause you to freeze and be stuck. But today, somebody's going to get unstuck. Why? I'll tell you why. Now, it is common for us to think, and I've emphasized this before, persons with disability, even the world, when you're even trying, and you think that you're less of a person because you look different, because you sound different, because you communicate different. And this brings me to the first key to the journey on surviving disability, or thriving disability, or thriving despite disability. And that first point I want you to take note is accept who you are. I repeat, accept who you are. You need to come to a place where you understand that this is who I am. I am unique, I am different, yes, and despite all what the world thinks, this is who I am. The second point I would like to mention is rediscover yourself. Let me explain, and this will come clear to a lot of people. Sometimes it gets murky who we are in this world because we're defined by different things. And sometimes because of an impairment that is obvious, people begin to define you by that. But despite who you were, or maybe before a disability, you need to rediscover who you are. You need to find you, because the world will suggest who they think you are, who they believe you should be. And if you don't know who you are, you will get thrown to and fro. So there is a place of discovery and there's a place of rediscovery. For me, I had to find out who I was after I found that I had this disability. After the accident, I had to slowly but surely rediscover who I was. Of course, something happened. I became stronger, I became more determined, I became strong-willed, I became a bit more serious about life, and that took a lot of self-discovery. Number 3, love who you have become. Self-love is crucial. You can find love or look for love everywhere, but if you do not love yourself, you will not be able to accept love even when it is given to you. You will not be able to appreciate who you are even when love is thrown at you. And you might begin to find love in the wrong places. You might begin to thirst for it. You might begin to run after it in the wrong places. Self-love is crucial. So, love yourself. These first 3 steps are the first step that you must take if you want to thrive and live above any form of disability that you may have. Number 1, I said accept who you are. Now that might be difficult for somebody to hear in the world where, we're very religious, but I want you to understand that in accepting who you are not accepting less of who you are, but you are accepting who you are at this very moment in your life so that you can be present in this life that you're living. And then rediscover yourself. There is a place for discovery. There's a place for rediscovery. Learn your strengths. Learn your weaknesses. Learn your triggers. Build on your strengths. There is a place for self-discovery. And I mean, that's a whole different topic by itself, but it's crucial. And love who you have become. Embrace yourself, love yourself, and you can do this through positive affirmations. When you stand before the mirror and you say things like, I do this, and I say things like, I am made for greatness. Like, I mean, if everybody tells me that and I don't believe that, it amounts to nothing. But I stand before the mirror and I tell myself, Frecky, you are made for greatness. And it resonates because when I step out with confidence. I go out because I know that I am a professional and I do my job professionally, irrespective of whether I'm willing or it doesn't even come up, because I'm delivering based on my capacity and what I know that I can do. Now, another thing that I want you to note, if you want to survive disability or thrive above it, is settle within yourself your relevance on this earth at this time. Look, if you do not believe that you are important, if you do not believe that you are here for a reason, that the world needs you now, that the reason, that the fact that you are here on this earth right now, there is relevance, you will be miserable. Why? Because people will make you feel like nonsense. But when you believe and you know that, look, yes, something happened. I look different. I may sound or communicate different. I see differently. I think differently. Fine. But the reason of the fact that I am still on this earth, I have not died, I am here, I am relevant. You need to, you see, I can tell you that. But if you do not settle it within yourself, that I am not just here to occupy space. I am not matter, occupying space and time. I'm relevant. The reason why I am on this earth in 2018, this present there is a reason I am relevant, or else I would have long died. So when you settle that within yourself, what that brings to bear is that you become more empowered to boldly chase your purpose and your goal and your vision. And let me be clear, to everything that was created on this earth, you have a purpose and you have a reason for being. And this brings me to that next point. You must understand that you have a purpose. You are not just here to exist. You are not just here to be in one of the children in your family. You have a purpose. There is a reason for why you were created. It might be to encourage another human being. It might be the fact that you have been given an idea that the world is waiting for. Albert Einstein was told that he was retarded, literally, because he was autistic. But what did he do? He came up with the theory of relativity and has gone down in history as one of the greatest scientists. Les Brown was told that he was dumb and that he was retarded. And he lived with that until somebody told him, absolutely not. You are not dumb, you are different. And he took that difference and became the greatest motivational speakers. Oprah Winfrey was abused and felt less of a woman. And of course, I don't need to tell you Oprah Winfrey's story. She was able to rise above that abuse and become America's foremost women in history that goes down to be of relevance, of significance in media, in impacting lives. Things happen, my people, but the fact that you are still on this earth, alive, breathing, tells me that there is a reason that you have a purpose. I have a purpose. And once I settled that within me, it was very difficult for anybody to stop me. And this brings me to the other point. Find that purpose. All of these things are very elaborate topics, but I need you to find that purpose. How can you find your purpose? What is your passion? What is the thing that drives you? Let me give you an inkling. Before I had the accident and had the disability, I was a medical student in the university, studying medicine and surgery. And where that came from was the fact that I wanted to reach out to people. I wanted to touch lives. I wanted to, improve the lives of others. Soon after that, after the accident, it took a while for me to be able to get back, figure it out really. But I decided that I needed to go back to school. And so I went back to school. Now you would think that after trying to go back to school, somebody would say, this girl is trying, and say, okay, come back. But they said you can come back, but you would need to change your program, simply because they didn't have the facilities. This was devastating to me. But my goal was clear. I was going to go to school, and I was going to come out with a very good degree. So I went back, settled back, weighed my options, and went back to school to do, still in medical science, but human physiology. Years after. Of course, I wasn't too strong then, so I had to change school and all of that, a bit of hassle, but still persevered. Why? Because I had a purpose and I wanted to find expression. So I became, I graduated with a second class upper in physiology, and then I kept asking, how would I find expression to still fulfill purpose of reaching out to others? And then I found volunteering, and I found the non-profit sector. And that has been an amazing platform, like world stage, to be able to reach out to people. Simply because I kept purpose and focus in mind. It came out differently. I mean, I'm not in the hospital, but interestingly, the platform is even bigger, because beyond the hospital, communities all over the world reaching out to people. Now that is even bigger. And that came from looking back, understanding that I still knew what my purpose was, and I was still planning to fulfill it, irrespective of how I was looking or feeling or changed. And by the grace of God, I was able to find expression for purpose. And it's not yet over. It's still on. I have dreams, I have visions, and I am not afraid to have them, because I've settled within me that as long as there's life, as long as I am alive, I will fulfill destiny. So, my dear, the battle sometimes is not with government. Government has a role to play in creating accessible buildings. The public sector has a role to play in leveling the playing field, inclusive education and all of that. But do you know that if Nigeria even gets to that point where there is all of this, some persons with disability will still not engage? You need to settle within your mind that you deserve life, your life to be full. It is a battle of the mind that you need to settle. This is how you will thrive above disability. Now let me run fast. My time is going. I just want to mention that you need to be able to surround yourself with people and things that are important. Now, there are different types of people in this world. And out of a lot of love, people want to keep you. They don't want you to expose yourself to suffer. And we face that a lot with family. So you want to go out and say, hey, why are you stressing yourself? It's out of love. It's out of protection. But sometimes you need to break out of comfort zones and do things even when they are not comfortable. You see, sometimes my people, we are lazy, especially when you come from comfortable background or things are not working. You just stay. Hey, let me explain to you that the world will never be anything more than what it is. It is a mixed multitude, and it is a fight. So you need to gather yourself, and say that in this world I will succeed. So even when family is being overprotective out of love, sometimes you need to and move. When I wanted to go back to school, it was far. That's when I changed to a new university. The university was far from where we were living. And everybody started trying to navigate. How will I get to school? Will I live alone? It just looked like a lot of hassle. And at the point, I won't lie, I just wanted to say, I beg, let me just stay. Because honestly, if I stay, nothing will happen. But then, I would just stay shy. I couldn't. And so it was difficult, but I would wake up early, and then I would enter the car, and then I would enter traffic. We would stay, but it was a hassle. But I knew where I wanted to be. I wanted to be a grad. I wanted to be able to stand. People are standing, you cannot tell me anything because maybe you know book. That's just me. So sometimes they can be protected, but you need to be able to get out of your comfort zone, and then to surround yourself with people, with mentors, with role models. If you are with people who are saying, hey, our own is not good, or hey, this, please change your friends. There is a need to move. And then the next thing I want to say is, don't throw a pity party. Yes, I totally understand. It's not easy. But a pity party is not the best party. Because you know what happens at the end of a pity party? Usually it is loaded with people that enable your doubts and fear. People who attend pity parties when you're feeling sorry for yourself, you know, it happens to the best of us. I mean, you just feel very frustrated. You tried so hard that day and somebody just came out from nowhere and just spoiled your day. And then you're like, you see, if I was not using a wheelchair, would they have tried it? You know, it happens. And then somebody will come and say, don't mind them. Is it because, No, but usually the people that surround you during pity parties are enablers of doubt and fear. So stop having pity parties. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Just, David encouraged himself in the Lord. So sometimes you need to just give yourself a pep talk and say, yes, it happened. But the person behaved based on what he knew. He doesn't know too much. And you move on. It's not easy, but you can do it. So don't throw pity parties. Don't allow enablers of doubt or fear to surround you. And then the next point I want to make is, don't be mad. See, the soonest I realized this thing, I was able to move forward. Because sometimes it can be very argumentative when you meet somebody who doesn't. Hi. Maybe you go to the bank, you cannot access the bank, and one cashier is keeping you under the sun, right, for your money. So I just said, don't be sad, don't be mad. Everybody, let me teach you, is entitled, and hear me well, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Shocking, eh? So if somebody doesn't think you are worth salt, that is his opinion. And my God, he is so entitled to having that opinion, because he's only having that opinion based on the little he knows. But do you know the most important opinion? The two most important opinion that really matter is not that person's mediocre mind or mediocre opinion. Rather, it is the opinion you have of yourself, number one, and then the opinion that God has about you. The two most important opinions on this earth. So everybody is entitled to their opinion. You are disabled, you cannot make it. That is you. But me, I know better. So have a good opinion of yourself. You see a lion, yes, lion. If you stand in front of a lion and say you are just an ant, meanwhile, that is your opinion. You stood in front of a lion and you called a lion an ant. Meanwhile, you have said your opinion. That lion knows that he is a lion. So if you like, be thinking he's an ant. His opinion of himself is that I am a lion and I am the king of the jungle. He will eat you for breakfast, even with your opinion. So everybody's entitled to their opinion, but the most important opinions are the opinion that you have of yourself and the opinion that God has about you. And my God, God says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. He says before you were formed in your mother's womb that he has a plan for you. He has said that he knows the thoughts that he has for you. They are plans of good. I mean, I could go on and on and go, but despite what it looks like, God's opinion of you is really high, because he created you and said that it was good. At least that's how I know that God sees me. So your opinion, so form a good opinion about yourself and know God's opinion about you. Everybody can go and sleep with their opinion, really. And finally, don't allow the entirety of your existence to be defined by disability. I repeat, don't allow the entirety of your existence to be defined by disability. Let me explain. You did not get a first class because you are disabled. You are not a good businessman or woman because you are disabled. You got a first class because you're intelligent, because you read your book, because you did due diligence when it comes to studying. You passed your exam. That is why you graduated from school with a second class upper, with a first class. You are doing well in business, not because you are using crutches. Because as a baker, your cake is sweet and people are buying and ordering. Do not let anybody belittle your achievements and say you can do it because you are disabled. I find that very belittling. I am me. Hey, wheelchair, flying, upside down. I am me with stuff. Hey, so do not allow the entirety of your, this is an aspect of your, it is not the whole of you. That's what I'm trying to say. Rise above being stuck, hey, by disability. You are a lot more. This is just one, it's how you move, it's how you think, it's how you communicate, sign language, I'm fine, it's just one part. But you are you first. And I want to ask you a question, you that is listening to me. I know the world sees you differently, but I need you to begin to see yourself, oh my God, as absolutely important, relevant, with something of value to add, simply because you are here. You have not died, you are here, alive. So much to offer. You've got heart, you've got intelligence, you are beautiful, you are unique. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Now, I promise you that what happened to you that resulted in a disability, whether from birth or as an adult, is a pivotal and a life-altering, and it's not trivial in any matter. However, it's time to move from that. Don't stay stuck in that event. And rather, I want you to turn this experience that you have, that we have, and I want you to rather turn the experience to impact the life of others and make other lives better. Let it be for good. Let it have impact. You are stronger than you know, and it's high time that you discovered how strong and how important you are in the scheme of things and in your sphere of influence. Faced with disability and the dilemma of moving forward, we're usually faced with three choices. And I'm going to offer you these three choices today. I'm assuming that probably somebody there didn't know any better, but I'm going to offer you these three choices, and I want you to make a choice. Number one, faced with disability, irrespective of when it happened, you have the option of using that disability as an excuse, as a crutch, to be dependent on everybody, to beg, to be like, when they see you, they change lane. You can decide to use that disability. Oh my God, you have the option to use that ability to be at the mercy, to continue to say, I cannot. Option two, you have the option of doing nothing. And when I mean nothing, like, can't they see? I cannot, I'm disabled. I beg, I'll not be able. So you doing nothing. So you have the option of doing nothing, or like I call it, playing the waiting game, where they tell you it will be better, and you are waiting for it to be better. So you have that option. And number three, you have the option to take on the challenge that is life, irrespective of what you have been dealt with. making lemonade out of lemon, creating opportunities, breaking down doors. In fact, if you face a wall, you break it down or create a wall. Or if you face a door and you're not given the key, you break down the key. You have the third option of deciding to dream again, envision again, go after that dream, that goal, that vision, falling, failing, and rising up again despite the fact that you just failed, staying up, discovering yourself, rising, living a life of purpose, screaming in your mind, in your heart, and in your head, and even vocally to whoever cares, yes, I can. So my friend, are you going to decide for being at the mercy of everyone? Too afraid to do anything? Or living your life intentionally? As for me, I made the decision a long time ago to live intentionally. So, a long time ago, I decided that I was going to live, to dream, to have visions, to have goals, go back to school, become a graduate. Today I have 3 degrees. First degree in human physiology, masters in physiology, masters in public health, just because I dared to continue to dream. CEO of a non-profit organization, consultant on so many platforms, trustees. In fact, I can't even begin to mention, touching lives on a global scale and living my life very intentionally. And I am glad that I made the decision not to be afraid, but to live intentionally. And so, my friend, in closing, you have a reason to be here. You are here for a reason. You have a purpose. I believe in you. So live intentionally, because you are ability. My name is Andrew-Essien, and it's been an awesome time sharing with you. I hope I have opportunity to do this even more, but I want you to dare. Oh my God, dare to be you. You can reach me on www.facebook.com/FreckieAndy or at FreckieAndy on any social media platform, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at FreckieAndy. That's FREKYANDY. You can like my organization, www.fakerfoundation/faker or www.fakerfoundation.org. Or you can reach me on 0803-710-9285. I'm here to listen to you. Dare to be you, because you are ability. Thank you.